The 7 princes, 7 archangels, and 7 sisters of hell who spoke with King Solomon are commonly known to exist, but do you know the sisters specifically? No? Then join me as I tell you the whole story in this video. If you're new, please subscribe and like the video. It really motivates me to continue creating content. The story of the 7 sisters appears in the Testament of Solomon, which is a pseudepigraphic work. These are stories whose authorship is considered false or doubtful. It's a case somewhat similar to another book, which is the Book of Enoch, but in his case, the right word would be apocryphal. But anyway, the book was written in Greek, and whether it's true or not, it has some stories that are quite interesting. It says that King Solomon would have built the temple of God, commanding demons, using the ring that was given to him by the archangel Michael himself. He also would have interrogated these spirits or demons, such as Beelzebub, Orneus, Onoskelis, and so on. In this video, I'll focus more on the 7 sisters that appear there. If you want me to talk about the other spirits that are mentioned in the Testament, comment and leave a like, okay? If this video succeeds, I may create a series on Solomon's Testament. To give you an idea of what this book is like, it starts like this. Testament of Solomon, son of David, who was the king in Jerusalem, dominated and controlled all the spirits of the air on the earth and under the earth. Through them, he also performed all the transcendent works of the temple. Also speaking of the authorities that they exercise against men, and through which angels, these demons, are reduced to nothing. I meditate on the wise Solomon, to whom you, O Lord God, gave such authority. Glory to you, power to the ages. Amen. Well, at a moment in history, after a lot has happened, and even a differentiated archangel named Azazel appeared, Solomon would have praised God or glorified God who gave him powers to be able to call other demons. And in this 7 spirits appeared, which according to the story were female, and that from what it gave to understand, they always walked together, always being tied or chained to each other. And of course they were very beautiful, and I glorified God again, who gave me this authority and ordered that another demon come to me. And 7 spirits came, females, tied and woven together, beautiful in appearance and graceful. If it were an ordinary person at this moment, the person would be very scared and would run away. But in Solomon's case, he made fools of the demons and used them as if they were practically Pokemons. As soon as they arrived, Solomon already asked who they were. They all said together, as if they were just one person speaking, that they were from the 33 elements of the cosmic darkness commander. When I, Solomon, saw them, I asked, "Who are you?" But they, in unison, said in a single voice, "We are from the 33 elements of the cosmic darkness commander." After that, they began to say their names to Solomon. That is, not all of them said exactly what their names were, but you can still get an idea. The Testament of Solomon that I have is in English. To help you better understand, I translated the names. So it may be that if you look for these 7 names out there, they appear in another way. But here, they ended up like this. The first was called deception, the second strife, the third was battle, the fourth jealousy, the fifth power, the sixth was error, and the last one doesn't say her exact name. She was said to be the worst, with all her stars in heaven. She even mentioned Mount Olympus. The first one said, "I am deception." The second one said, "I am strife." The third one said, "I am Clotoph," which is battle the fourth. "I am jealousy the fifth. I am power the sixth. I am error the seventh. I am the worst of all. And our stars are in the sky. 7 humble stars in brightness and all together. And we are called as if we were goddesses. We move all together, and together we live. Sometimes in Lydia, sometimes on Olympus, sometimes on a great mountain." Now let's take a break here to talk about the Pleiades, which are beings from Greek mythology that could very well be these 7 sisters. In fact, the Pleiades have already been mentioned in the Bible, and then we come back to this story. In Greek mythology, the Pleiades are 7 sisters, daughters of the Titan Atlas and the sea nymph Pleione, who is the daughter of the Titan Ocean. At first, the Pleiades were Ored nymphs, which are nymphs that protect the mountains, caves, that kind of thing. They also greeted the goddess Artemis. Along with the Haids, they were also known as Atlantids, Dodonids, or Nereids. They were the ones who took care of Dionysus when he was a child. As daughters of Atlas, they are sisters to Calypso, the Pleiades, the Haiades, and the Hesperides. The names of each of them were as follows: Electra, Maia, Taygete, Alcyone, Selene, Sterope, and Merope. Atlas had obliged them all to take vows of chastity, however. We are talking about Greek mythology, right? Gods like Zeus existed who had a relationship with Maia, resulting in the birth of Hermes. Other gods like Ares and Poseidon also got involved with them. Zeus was involved with Maia, Electra, and Taygete, resulting in the birth of Dardanus, Lacedaemon, and Lazon. Poseidon had relationships with Alcyone and Selene, resulting in the births of Ereus, Paranor, Ethusa, Lycos, and Eurypylus. Ares had only one affair with Sterope, who bore him Inamal. Merope, unlike her sisters, married King Sisyphus instead of engaging with the god. Their son Glaucus, in some accounts, fathered Bellerophon. Being just nymphs like this, they would have nothing to do with the 7 sisters of hell. However, the Pleiades in one story literally become stars. One day, Orion saw them and was completely crazy about their beauty, and he began to chase the sisters. They were desperate and asked the gods to change their form so they could escape. So the gods granted their request. First, they turned into doves, and then they were transformed into a constellation in the sky. That's one version, but there's another that's much more macabre. According to it, at a certain point, the Pleiades ended up discovering the eternal punishment that Zeus had given to their father, which in this case was to hold up the sky. Knowing this, they couldn't bear it. And, well, let's just say they ended their own lives. And Zeus ended up placing them in the sky to be eternal. Despite being 7 stars, only 6 of them can be seen. Electra left her home as she couldn't bear to witness the fate of Troy, which according to legend was founded by her son Dardan. Electra, in fact, could be the last of the sisters. This would explain why she doesn't give her name to Solomon. As I told you, the Pleiades are mentioned in the Bible. And as you should already know, the number 7 appears several times, such as God resting on the 7th day, the 7 seals of the book of Revelation, and even John's vision with the being appearing in the midst of 7 candlesticks, and in his right hand having 7 stars. But in this last case, in the quote itself, it says that these 7 stars would actually be churches and angels. And if you want to know more about everything that happens in the book of Revelation, I made a whole video about it, and I will leave the link here in the card and in the description for you. But a direct quote about them occurs in Job 38, when the waters become hard as rock and the surface of the abyss freezes. Can you bind the beautiful star clusters, tie the Pleiades, or loosen the cords of Orion? Can you bring forth the Mazzaroth in their season, or guide the bear with its cubs? Note that the word Pleiades may vary depending on the Bible translation used. After knowing the name of each of the sisters, Solomon asked a question to each of them, from the first to the last. The first one repeated her name and said that she set traps everywhere, in addition to planting heresies. She feared an angel called Lamikalau. I am the deception. I deceive and set traps here and there. I sharpen and incite heresies, but I have an angel who frustrates me, Lamikalau. In the same way, the second repeated her name and said that she could bring things like wood, hooks, and stones. The angel she feared was Baruch Yaquel. I am contention of contentions. I bring wood, stones, hooks, my weapons, from the place, but I have an angel that frustrates me, Baruch Yaquel. The third made the good ones spread out and fight against each other. And the angel she feared was called Marmaraph. Similarly, the third also said, I am called Clotov, which is battle. I make the well-behaved spread out and fall into conflict with each other. And because I talk so much, I have an angel that frustrates me, Marmarath. The fourth, which was jealousy, said that it made men lose their heads at parties, and that she always walked along with the strife. And the angel she fears is Baltio. I make men forget their sobriety and moderation. I separate them and divide them at parties, for strife follows me hand in hand. I tear husbands from wives, children from parents, and siblings apart. But why am I so despised? An angel called Baltiel, who represents power, told me it could both raise and overthrow kings. This frustrates me. Give power to the rebels, and the angel she fears is Astaroth. I am the power. By power I raise tyrants and overthrow kings. For the rebels I provide power. I have an angel who frustrates me. Astaroth, the sixth, which is the mistake, said, of course it makes people err. But not mistakes like in math problems, ethical mistakes such as killing someone. The angel that scares her is a very famous one, Uriel. I am the mistake, O King Solomon, and I will make you err, as I made you err before when I made you kill your own brother. I will lead them into error to meddle in graves, and I teach those who dig, and I turn wandering souls away from all mercy. And many other misdeeds are mine, but I have an angel who frustrates me, Uriel. The last one implies that she has the power to make people evil. It makes a reference to god Artemis, and unlike the others, it does not mention any angel. Similarly, did the seventh also say, I am the worst. I make you worse than you were, because I will impose the bonds of Artemis, but the locust will free me. For through it is destined that you will reach my desire. For if anyone were wise, they would not turn their steps towards me. After that, Solomon seals the seven with his ring and makes them work on the foundations of the temple, even though they still complain about the work given to them. So I, Solomon, having heard and marveled, sealed them with my ring, and since they were so considerable, I ordered them to dig the foundations of the temple of God, for the length was 250 cubits, and I ordered them to be diligent, and with a murmur of protest, and together they began to perform the ordered tasks. And so ends Solomon's conversation with these seven sisters. Well guys, that was the video. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to rate the video, leaving like or dislike, subscribe to the channel, and leave in the comments some topic for a next video, huh? Thanks. Adriana Zanotto.